dessert is from the region called Brittany in France. It's a prune flan. It's also called a far breton. I love it because it's very simple and it shows off delicious prunes and a combination of rum. So to start with, we need to steep our prunes. So I need about 20 prunes for this recipe, which is about a handful and a half. And we want to soften them and we want them to absorb the rum. So I've got some dark rum here, around 30 millilitres of rum, so a shot of rum, along with 100 millilitres of water. Now, ideally, you want to allow these to steep for 2 hours, so it'll go from this to this, and they'll soften up and take on that gorgeous flavour. And just from here, the smell is sensational. These two flavours, in fact, go so well together. So let's start with the batter. I need 4 whole eggs for this recipe, and we just break them straight into this bowl. And if I had to compare this recipe to another one, it would be the clafouti, which is similar to a pancake recipe, but fluffier. All right, last egg. Fabulous, and we need 130 grams of sugar. So just caster sugar, and we want to whisk this all together until it's light and fluffy. You don't need to whisk this for too long. We don't want it to be thick and pale. We just want that sugar to start dissolving. Fantastic, I'm happy with that. Now for the flour. So we want 120 grams of plain flour. This is a cake and biscuit flour, so it doesn't need to be sifted. So we'll measure that out accurately, of course, when baking. 120, perfect. And we'll just whisk that in until we have no lumps and we've got a smooth batter. Okay, this batter is looking fantastic. No lumps. Look at that. So we're looking for that ribbon consistency, and now we're ready for the next stage. So 50 grams of butter. We need this to be melted, so I've just got a little pot on here and we'll just soften that, and once that's melted, we'll add that also to the batter. Now, I'm presenting this in a big baking tray. So this is one of those desserts that are fuss-free. You don't need to demold it. It's presented at the table in the baking tray, which I always love. And we just get our butter here and we just want to grease the base of it, just like so. Be generous with the butter here. And I'll just get my brush and just evenly distribute that, just like that. So we've got a nice thick coating. Perfect. And we can start adding our prunes. So we just want to scatter them around the base of this. They will stay at the bottom of this cake, so presentation at this stage is not very important. We've got a little bit of rum here still, so I'm going to add that to our batter. We're not going to waste any of that. And this is completely optional. If you'd like a little bit more rum, I'm adding a tablespoon just to give it a good hit. All right, let's stir that in. And 500 millilitres of milk. Now, it seems like a lot of milk, but think of this, like I said before, like a pancake batter. It will be cooking in the oven for a while, so it will set. So don't be afraid when you see how loose this mixture is. I also need a pinch of salt. We'll just pop that in there now, along with our melted butter that has just cooled down slightly, and in it goes. And that's it for our batter. Now, I've preheated my oven to 200 degrees at this stage, and we'll just pour that in very slowly. Perfect. Now, this will rise slightly because of the eggs, so 200 degrees for 10 minutes, and this will just form that beautiful golden crust on the top, and then we're turning the heat down 170 degrees for 1 whole hour. Our delicious prune flan is out of the oven, and you can see just by having that really hot heat at the beginning at 200 degrees, it forms a beautiful crust, and then inside, I'm just going to cut into it now so you can see, yum, is like a custard. This is such a fabulous dessert, and this is a recipe my mum has actually taught me, and now I pass it on to my friends and they absolutely love it because it's so simple to make. I like to put it just on a plate with a dusting of icing sugar, and it is custard-like, so it really doesn't need anything else, but If you're feeling a little bit naughty, I'd say add just a dollop of cream on the side. And there you have it, a fabulous dessert baked in the oven. Gorgeous, prunes and rum work so well together in a custard tart.